Yo, what's up, sports fans? It's the Chosen Son here today, and today I'm here with something different. It's called the NBA Team Versus. So, what you do is you compare the two teams and different aspects about the team. So, what we're going to do is the starting lineup from point guard all the way down to center. We're going to compare each and every player. And then we're going to move on to the bench as a whole. We're not going to do individual bench players. We're going to do the bench as a whole bench unit. Whoever wins the most categories wins the versus. Let's jump into it. All right, we start off here with Jeff Teague and Russell Westbrook. Jeff Teague right now is currently playing 31 minutes per game with 44% from the field, 40% from three, 84% from the free throw line, 13 points a game, 3 rebounds, and 7 assists. While Russell Westbrook is playing around 34 minutes a game with 48% from the field, 39% from 3, 62 from the free throw line, 21 points per game, and 12 assists a game. As you can see, Russell Westbrook's points per game has been going down, and so has his rebounds. That's because he got 2 new forwards that like to score the ball, and they're stars. That's what's going to happen. Does that make Russell Westbrook even in the same league as Jeff Teague? No. Look at all the stats. Russell Westbrook literally kills him in every stat besides the percentages. But if you look at it, Russell Westbrook does take more shots. I think that one there is pretty obvious. That one's going to go to Russell Westbrook. Now we're moving to the shooting guard position. Right now we have a face-off between Jimmy Butler and Andre Roberson. Jimmy Butler right now is playing around 38 minutes a game with 45% from the field, 33% from 3, 88 from the free throw line, 16 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. While Andre Roberson, on the other hand, has he's not Jimmy Butler. Andre Roberson plays around 18 minutes a game, has 40% from the field, 25% from 3, 0 from the free throw line. I don't know if he's taking shots, but he hasn't made any. And even if, that's still not good. You're not getting to this free throw stripe. You need to get that to win games in the NBA. In today's game, you need that. 4 points per game, 2 rebounds a game, and under 1 assist a game. Andre Roberson is known for his defense. I would say he would win in the defensive category for this, but he's going against Jimmy Butler, one of the best defenders in the league. As you can see, Jimmy Butler may not have to score as many points as before with the new assets, but I do believe that his defense is way more important than people think. Even though he's only getting around 16 points a game, look how much he's playing. He's playing a lot of minutes and getting a lot of good grind time for defense. We already know who his coach is, Tom Thibodeau. We'll get into that later though. For some strange reason, Billy Donovan has incorporated Andre Roberson really well. He may not shoot the ball too good, but he comes off screens and cuts to the basket really well. Nonetheless, Jimmy Butler won this. Alright, so now we're moving on to the small forward position. As you can tell, I got changed. I'm recording this second half of the video in a whole nother day. Yesterday, I've been trying to do daily uploads, but yesterday I had a lot of problems with what I was doing. I'm trying something new with this video, and I'm starting at this YouTube stuff, so give me a break. So now when you compare the two players, they're very similar. Not necessarily their play styles, but more their stats, obviously. Andrew Wiggins doesn't play as much defense as Paul George, and he's not as good of a shooter. They both play around roughly 34 minutes a game. There's a slight difference in the field goal percentage with 42, 46. Same 3-point percentage, same points per game, same rebounds per game, and 1 assist to 2 assists. Reading stats, you'd think that this matchup would be really hard to just give it to one side. But when we all watch Paul George play and we watch Andrew Wiggins play, you could see a difference. That could be the age difference, maturity, all that, just experience in the league, learning schemes, learning defenses, and learning other teams' defenses. If you look at a big problem is Andrew Wiggins' free throw shooting right now. He's shooting 50%, and that's obviously not a problem for Paul George. He's shooting 93%. Andrew Wiggins is young. He has a lot more moving to go, and I believe Paul George is better than Andrew Wiggins. This particular matchup here is going to happen a lot. Hopefully they meet in the playoffs. I believe Andrew Wiggins facing Paul George in the playoffs and having real grinded out series will make him only a better player. Just like how Paul George became better after playing against LeBron. Same thing. Now we're moving on to the power forward position. Now we have someone who's out of position in Carmelo Anthony and Taj Gibson. Taj Gibson, a former OKC Thunder player. This is clearly a huge deficit. But if what you notice here is the fact that Taj Gibson gets more assists than Carmelo Anthony, it's pretty sad. Carmelo Anthony's getting 24 points per game on 34 minutes, 47% from the field, 35% from 3, and 81 from the free throw line. Taj Gibson is a starter. He's getting 28 minutes a game, 6 points a game, 8 points a game, 6 rebounds a game, and the 2 assists. He added a little bit of a 3-pointer to his game, but it's not like he can really shoot it that well. He just is willing to shoot it. So therefore, he has 20% from 3, he has 52 from the field, and 100 from the free throw line. This right here will be a huge matchup problem for both teams. Taj Gibson can't come out onto the perimeter and cover Carmelo Anthony. And Carmelo Anthony can't get in the paint and compare with Taj Gibson. He's not strong enough. Carmelo Anthony is strong. He's stronger than other small forwards, but to be a stronger power forward, he's going to need more time at that position. I'm not saying that Taj Gibson is a beast on the glass, because he's clearly not. He only has 6 rebounds. I understand he's competing with Cat, and he also has Gorgie Dang and other people on the team, but you're the starting power forward. You need more. Do I need to say it? Carmelo wins this one. Now we're moving on to one of my more favorite players in Steven Adams. Were you guys thinking I was going to say Karl Anthony Towns? No. I'm going to explain to you why I like Steven Adams after I go over the stats. They both play around the same amount of minutes. 31, 34. Karl Anthony Towns shooting an amazing 57% from the field. Considering that he's able to stretch the floor, shoot threes, shoot middies, do whatever he wants, and still get such an efficient field goal percentage, that's insane. Steven Adams is shooting 68% from the field. Mainly pick and roll opportunities and putback opportunities. Karl Anthony Towns is shooting 30% from 3, which isn't that good for a guard, but for a center, that's very, very good. Steven Adams doesn't shoot threes. Karl Anthony Towns, like I said, is very versatile. He has 90% from the free throw line. And Steven Adams isn't too bad. He's shooting 73%. Karl Anthony Towns is getting 14 points a game, Karl Anthony Towns is getting 25 points a game, while Steven Adams is getting 15. Karl Anthony Towns has 12 rebounds, and Steven Adams has 8. Both players have the same amount of assists and the same amount of blocks. I incorporated blocks because they're centers, and I'll start doing that for the big men more often. Okay, now we're into why I like Steven Adams so much. Steven Adams is one of those centers that gets overlooked for everything. He's one of the best pick and roll centers, he's one of the best interior defenders, and he takes his job gladly. He understands what his job is. He understands that he has to be the grit and grind player of the team. Although Russell Westbrook could be considered one also, we all know Steven Adams is going to get in there and get dirty in that paint. He also has pretty decent vision. I'm not saying better vision than Cat. He just has pretty decent vision. He can pass the ball. He's a capable passing center. Karl Anthony Towns is literally a point guard in a center's body. He can do anything you want him on the court. There's not many centers in this league that I'm going to put up against Karl Anthony Towns and say is better. Have you seen this man on the court? He can dunk, he can shoot, he can pass, he can do whatever you want him to do. He can play defense. It doesn't matter. Karl Anthony Towns is a phenom and a beast. So we got 2 of the weaker benches in the NBA. For the T-Wolves, they're way more offensive. They can spread the floor pretty good. They don't always need a star to be competent on the court for a period of time. And the Thunder aim for more of a defensive bench with Jeremy Grant and Patrick Patterson. The good thing about the Thunder's bench is that they're never out there as a whole. One of their stars is always running the show, so they don't really have to rely on their bench too heavy. But in saying that, I do believe that the Timberwolves bench is better. I believe that just more offensive firepower on the bench is more important than defense, especially when your defenders can't really shoot. Like Jeremy Grant and Patrick Patterson can't shoot. Alex Abrines can shoot. Raymond Felton can shoot pretty good. And Nick Collison is like a heart and soul player, kind of like Udonis Haslem with the Heat. He's not really doing anything for you right now on the court. Timberwolves won that one. Now, we're moving on to the coaches. We got Tom Thibodeau versus Billy Donovan. Tom Thibodeau is great defensively, but the problem is he overworks players. While Billy Donovan, he has early success in his career, but he still needs to learn a lot about the NBA style. Tom Thibodeau, he maintained a winning record with Chicago, but he never played young players enough. Even to this day, he does not play his young players. Billy Donovan recently won the Thunder's trust though, but he has 2 new superstars, and that's going to be really hard to integrate into the system. Tom Thibodeau is a coach for Team USA, and with all the weapons that he has on his team now, it won't be hard to integrate them with each other. But Tom Thibodeau has been known to not be a player's coach or a people's coach at all. He literally went 3 months without talking to his GM in Chicago. That's why he got fired. Billy Donovan works well with what he has. Last year, Russell Westbrook did it by himself. But it wasn't just Russell Westbrook being a beast out there on the court. It was Billy Donovan working with what he has. Russell Westbrook had Steven Adams, Victor Oladipo, and Enes Kanter. Those were his 3 offensive weapons last year. They're not the greatest and they're not the worst. But Billy Donovan made do with what he had. and his bench unit was even worse last year. He also shows some lack of in-game changes sometimes though, because there's times where Russell Westbrook is off and there's nothing else you can do. I'm not sure if that's a con for him, but I'm gonna put it as a con because if you work with what you have, you can do it. Honestly though, I'll take a little bit of experience. I believe he has a bond with Jimmy Butler and Derrick Rose and a bunch of the other Bulls players. I'm sure he's making a connection with them now. And I'm sure Billy Donovan is growing, but I do believe Tom Thibodeau is the better coach. I'm going to give that one to the Timberwolves too. Alright you guys, that's it for this versus. The Timberwolves ended up getting the better of the Oklahoma City Thunder, but let me know who you think is better. Let me know if I made any mistakes. Also, I made a Twitter not too long ago. It's at TheChosenSonYT. Also, like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know if you liked the idea of this video.